kind of hard to say like, oh, I'm more Indian or more Japanese. But like I can say that Japan is my home.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Takashi from Japan. Today I'm going to interview Indian women raised in Japan. I'm gonna ask her about her life. Now she lives in the UK. About the time when she visited India, what was it like growing up in Japan? Okay, let's find out today. On my channel, I interview Japanese people and foreigners in Japan. So it's the best channel for anyone who wants to come to Japan without traveling or living. You can also learn Japanese here. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. And on my Instagram, I show my daily life in Tokyo and share information about Japan. So if you haven't followed yet, please follow it too. Okay, let's get started. Okay, thank you for your time this time. Can you introduce your background?
Yeah. So I was born and brought up in Japan. My parents are from India, but I was born and brought up in Japan, and I also have a Japanese passport, so I'm half Indian and Japanese.
And now you live in the UK, right?
Yes, I'm living in the UK. I chose to study abroad in England. Well, first of all, because of my major, I'm studying English literature and language and linguistics. And I also wanted a change in environment, so I decided to study in England.
And then you just came back to Japan like for visiting your family,
Yeah.
friends,
Yeah,
and
just because it's summer break, I came back home.
what was it like to grow up in Japan as someone who have parents who are Indian?
Well, I think I kind of covered this a bit, but like because the household I grew up in is Indian. My mom cooks like Indian food. She celebrates Indian festivals. So like I know a lot about that culture, but also because I was also engaging in extracurriculars outside of my school, because I went to international school, but I also like got a chance to interact with Japanese and like try to see what that lifestyle is like too, like what Japanese are like too. So like I think I have like a understanding of both sides, like both cultures, both people.
Since you went to international school, your first language is English, right?
Yeah,
That's
I'd say it's English.
I think that's very interesting because you're born and raised in Japan. You know, like
So the thing is, right, it's kind of complicated because I went to an English preschool and my rest of my education was in English. Like, because I went to international school, the primary medium was English. And, like, in my house, my parents spoke my mother tongue, Telugu, and English.
oh English too.
Yeah,
Oh, I
both
see.
of that. So the way I learned Japanese was through, going to Kumon or, like, through my Japanese classes at school. So, like, it isn't exactly my native language, but, like, I'm also familiar with it, though. Because, like, I've grown up listening to Japanese all the time, right? Like, around me. Telugu, like, I can make very brief conversations, but I don't think I can continue the conversation well.
What do you think like the pros and cons growing up in Japan as someone like you? Like, can you tell me about it?
Well, like, pro would be having, like, a multicultural background and having good understanding of both sides.
Yeah, you can be open-minded more, right?
Yeah, like especially because I went to international school, I also got to experience like Korean culture as well. Like I have a lot of Korean friends as well. So like I think in that sense I've become really open-minded, which is also why I wanted to study abroad. I guess a con would be that because there's like so many languages and cultures a part of me, of my identity, like it's hard to fit in one place.
Oh, so it's like identity crisis.
Yeah, like I feel like actually there's a term called liminal identity. So it's kind of like I'm in between the different like cultures and people. Like there's no one community for me. It's like I see myself in different communities. I think I'm more Japanese at heart because like Japan is my home because I was brought up here and I'm really familiar with Japanese culture and food and the people and like I love the language of course. But like because I was also brought up in an Indian household, I'm accustomed to Indian food and culture as well. So like I think I have like a mixed background, so it's kind of hard to say like, oh, I'm more Indian or more Japanese. But like I can say that Japan is my home.
And then you went to India this year, right?
Yes. I used to go during summer break to visit my family, like the rest of my family, because I have a really big family in India. I got to see them after a long time. Yeah, it was nice to, eat Indian food again.
Like, have you felt like culture shock or something when you visit India?
I mean, yes, because like I can never fit in I can never fit in there. Like I always feel out of place because of like my identity. So like I don't think I could live there.
Oh.
I honestly don't think I could live there.
What kind of moment you feel, oh, I can't live here? Like, what kind of moment you feel?
I think it's because of the mindset. Like the mindset's very different, and also because of it's just really restrictive. I think in terms of what I can do, it's very restrictive.
But you wanna visit every year or not every year?
I mean that depends on like my plans and everything. But like yeah, I like to visit India once in a while.
Okay, now you live in the UK. How's your life there?
Yeah, it's good. I think it's exciting because you know I lived in Japan for a really long time. I kind of got bored of it. So like I think I'm really glad that I decided to move.
When you do self-introduction,
Yeah.
you say like, I'm from Japan
Yeah.
and things like that, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's always like, wow, you're from Japan. That's so cool because I look, well, Indian, but I say I'm from Japan. So they're always like really interested and intrigued about Japan in general too. So, I mean, but like, I think I can fit in well there because it's a really diverse place full of like a lot of ethnicities. I mean, I don't think I ever feel like a foreigner there, you know? Like I feel like I can just like fit in well. Whereas here I always feel like a foreigner. Even though like I've
even though
been
you,
here for such a long time. Yeah.
because of that this homogeneous society.
So homogeneous, like
Even though you're born and raised in Japan, but you feel like you're a foreigner. But when you go to UK, you just stay there for a year, but you don't feel like you're a foreigner anymore.
yeah.
What's your plan? Like, you gonna stay in the UK and work there, or come back to Japan?
I don't think I want to come back to Japan
Oh.
right away.
Oh,
I want to stay abroad for a bit more.
why?
Cause like I still think I need to stay in a different kind of environment more, like for a longer time. Cause I feel like it really helped my growth. So like I think just living abroad would be good for me. Maybe I might like come back to Japan like later on.
Indian people in Japan, the community there, like, have you interacted with them?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of Indian communities here, of like from different states. Because you know India's really big, so there's like Telangana community or like Bengal community, for example. But yeah, I'm like my mom and dad are part of the different Indian communities, so like yeah, it's pretty big, I'd say. Yeah, and there's a lot of events going on as well. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. You have friends like you, like Indian friends, but born and raised in Japan. You have friends like you?
yeah, I do.
Oh
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I met them through my international school.
What are they doing now? Still in Japan?
No,
Oh, they are abroad now.
yeah, most of them are abroad now.
Oh.
In the US. Yeah, in the US.
Oh.
They're going to uni in the
So you guys
US.
tend to think like live abroad.
I mean, I think they just want to go to universities abroad.
When you get married one day, like would you marry Japanese person or Indian person? What do you think of it? Like,
So, I don't think I'd be able to marry an Indian, like brought up in India, or a Japanese brought up in Japan. But I'd be open to marrying someone like an Indian or a Japanese being brought up abroad because I think they'd have a more like open mindset and would understand me better.
so you didn't marry someone like typical Japanese person?
I don't think so.
Like,
I don't think we would be compatible.
Okay. Can you introduce yourself?
Again?
No. In the language you speak, except English.
So in Japanese?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
Tagu.
Telugu?
Tagu.
I can't introduce myself in Telugu.
Oh really?
No.
Oh,
It's,
really?
I really it's no, I can't.
Okay, it's okay, just Japanese then.
Okay. はじめまして、ソフィアニです。ハーフインド人と日本人です。
So you're half Japanese, half Indian, but your parents are both Indian.
India.
Like I thought half Japanese, half Indian would be like the parents, Japanese and Indian. So like I was surprised when you say half Japanese because your parents are both Indians, right?
I mean, they also hold a Japanese passport. Their nationality is not Japanese too.
Ah.
So like I think this is a matter of perspective for me because like I can't say I'm just Indian and I can't just say I'm Japanese.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for watching so far. How was it? That was interesting. I think the people surrounded me, people surrounded her. Like everything was different from my experience because she went to international school and I went to local, like normal Japanese school. And I didn't have any friends who have experience going abroad. And then I didn't have foreign friends either. I wish I could choose to go abroad when I graduated high school when I was 18, but I didn't think of it because nobody think like that in my area. Like all my friends went to university or started working, and then I never thought of that. But now I started YouTube and I have opportunities to talk to various people in Japan. It feels like even I'm in Japan, I feel like I'm living abroad. I like to interview someone like her more. Like I like to interview someone like have specific background, like very interesting background. If you have any idea, please let me know. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, click like button. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have any question that you want me to ask people in Japan, please leave a comment too. See you next time.